Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And as always, my friends, we have another amazing guest this morning. She's returning, former teacher, is going to talk about the hunger to take on new challenges. With that being said, my friends, help me welcome back Steph to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I am, for those who don't know you, Stephanie Bruckshaw.
Mhm.
Uh, you're from, remind me where you're from
I'm
again.
from Iowa,
That's
right
right.
in the middle.
That's right. That's right. And you're a former teacher. Are you still doing that?
Nope. No, I left to pursue this full time. I taught for 8 years, all elementary. I coached volleyball for 5 years. I
Wow.
was just ready for a big change to
So
get my time and learn all the things.
this you're doing this now full time.
Yes.
Wow, congratulations. And that was a transition that you made at what point?
Well, my situation is very different, and I'm very transparent with my audience about that. I'm 32 now, so like obviously my husband's job has taken off. I've worked since I was 16. We do real estate, so we have several streams of different kinds of income where I could just, go and put my all into this.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. So what has happened since the last time you were on the show? And give us a little bit of a nutshell as you're getting us updated about kind of how you got into all this in the first place. Let's start with the first part.
Okay.
um, when were you on the show last?
Oh gosh, was it March? I was on it, I think, in October and then March.
Okay. So, what's happened in your business since then, and how have you grown? How have things developed? How have you developed in the last 4 or 5 months?
Yeah. I would say like just making the connections I've made. I feel like the longer you're in this, you meet so many people and it's kind of wild and you just like get to talking, and I've actually been invited to be like mentors in other parts. So like how my business is expanded, and it goes in a way you don't think it will. Like you have this like idea of what you think your business will be, and it's kind of interesting to see the opportunities that come knocking on your door. I know, like we talked last time, like how many emails and stuff people will get, and it's just like you delete them, like, right? Like you're not going to take everybody up on an offer, but you never know what is going to come and like, grow your business and make you a better person and make you a better digital marketer.
Yeah, you gotta be in the game in order to catch the ball.
Yes.
And it's sort of like fishing, right? You have to have bait in the water in order to have the opportunities. And I think that's a connection that's sometimes difficult to make for new people because it's like, well, I'm not feeling qualified or my imposter syndrome's taking over. So I'm going to go back to the drawing boards and do more learning and kind of take a break or start over. And it's like you have to be able to do both at the same time. You have to be able to still operate your business and still, in this case, create content, continue your marketing while you get your life together or whatever else is going on in the background. You can't just like think about it. McDonald's doesn't just close their doors because, you know, for example, there was a death in the franchise owner's family, like, and I know that's kind of wow, Dave, that's quite an example, but yeah, it is. It's like if you own a McDonald's franchise, there is a requirement, and I'm sure it's in the contract with McDonald's, the corporate company, that you're going to keep those doors open essentially 24/7, 7 days a week. Nobody's ever going to come to that McDonald's and it's going to be closed.
Yeah. And it may not be there 100%, but it's still running. Like I think people forget that too. Like when you have a bad day or something happens, like reuse a post, regroup, do whatever you need to do. But yeah, still has to keep running in the consistency that you've built in your business because people still rely on you.
Yeah.
teaching too. Like it didn't matter if I was sick on the floor. I was writing 4 pages of sub plans. Like I still had to do it.
Right.
So
Yeah, right. And that's a great example too. It's like, think about your children going to school. If the teacher was sick, in imagine the school called you and said, "Well, we didn't have time to find a sub, so we're just going to close the class down for today, and we'll just see what happens with Miss Stephanie." Nope, no. You'd go, "What? I mean, you what?
yeah.
My kids ain't staying home. They're
No, they'll even split the classes. Like that's the worst when there is no sub and then you're taking on, 5 extra students for the day, but it doesn't close.
it doesn't close." And I think that's where we have to ask ourselves, how can I hold myself accountable to, for me, one of the things that I did was start the show. I mean, it's planned and scheduled at 10 a.m. Eastern time, 5 days a week, and people expect it. It's like any other show. And you're absolutely right. When there's a show that's on TV and there's maybe a holiday weekend or something, they play reruns, right? And for us, if I'm not available, Joanne may of course fill in, or we may schedule for her to fill in, just to deliver the value that she has to deliver at this point, or we might play a rerun. But the show gon' go.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So it's like, what, for those of you listening, what can you do to set up certain accountability elements in your life to where you show up every day? At this point, Stephanie, what does your audience expect from you?
Oh gosh. From me, like I obviously post 3 times a day. That's just my consistency. I'm active on my stories every single day. That looks different, just pending my day, but I'm still like there, whether I'm talking or posting something for them to look at. I go live every single Monday now. So they expect me to be there Monday, which has been kind of funny. People are like, when they ask you to do something and they're like, well, can't you just move your live? And I'm like, no, I'm not moving it. Like, it's just one day a week. I have like a Facebook group that I host. So it's just like, I post in there 4 times a week, and I schedule all that out. So it's nice when you can schedule things out because showing up makes it a little bit easier, but those are definitely different things. They expect me to respond. Like I'm somebody, yes, I use like a DM automation if they want my guide, but if they're messaging me, I'm sending voice messages, I'm answering questions. So I'm definitely there to support. And I think my audience knows that.
That's a powerful question that I want everybody to ask themselves. What does your audience expect from you? What do the people in your business life expect from you?
Mm-hmm.
What do they expect from you? Like you'll be making a certain amount of money when other people's expectations of you are high.
Yeah.
That your income will go up when people's expectations of you go up.
Mm-hmm.
If they're low and you've not gotten to the point, for example, in content creation and online marketing, where if you don't post for 5 days or you kind of don't show up in the places either on your profiles or wherever you go live or in your coaching sessions, if you don't show up for 5 days and nobody asks where you're at, you need to make it a goal to where if you don't show up for 1 day, people are like, where are you?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Right?
Yeah.
Are you okay? They start asking all the questions. Where'd you go? Where are you? Are you okay? I wonder where, right? I wonder where Stephanie's content is.
Yeah.
I didn't see any videos. I'm going to go to her profile. I'm going to go to her page, right? I mean, and then even more so with emails.
Mm-hmm.
I learned early on from a few great marketers who emailed consistently that I was going to get an email from them as damn sure as the sun was going to come up that day.
Mm-hmm.
How's that been for you to develop your email marketing and
Yes.
using that and improving that?
Yeah, so that's definitely something that I do. I guess I forgot to mention, but yeah, I email. Oh my gosh. I mean, when new people are coming in, opting in, they're getting an email from me every single day for I don't know, 30 days. And then I kind of alternate them just so I'm not super annoying, but they just like expect either it's like motivation or what are they going to value are going to get from this? Like, how has it changed my life? And then I also like have another campaign because like when I started, whoever, I found this through didn't have one. So like, I just have a very like big drive, but not everyone has it if they don't have someone there helping them. Right. So like, that was something really, really important for me is okay, if they are going to entrust in me, my recommendations, purchase something from me, then I want to be like offering them more advice in the back end. And how did I build my business? And what things do I need to look at? So that's really important to me. And like learning how to do like newsletter, broadcast, emails was a big game changer. I think that took me a long time, a lot longer than it probably should have to figure out. Cause I was like, how do I embed this so it goes out when I need to? But figuring that out was a big deal. Like if I have an announcement or today, like when I went live on Wake Up Legendary, I had an email scheduled to let my audience know. Yeah, just
Right.
different.
Yeah, that's a great example of a awesome reason for a broadcast to your email or to your subscribers. But also, your subscribers should be hearing from you regularly, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you need to define. For me, I was taught early on that you email until they buy, die, or unsubscribe.
Yep.
And that is, it's just a marketing kind of joke, but there's truth in every joke, and people can unsubscribe. They're big girls and boys. They can unsubscribe nowadays. The damn email services like Gmail make it even easier to unsubscribe right at the top of the email. It kind of sucks for us marketers because ideally you want them to have to use the unsubscribe button down in the email that your email service provider, Aweber or whatever, provides. It's down in the bottom of the email. You can also put an unsubscribe link yourself right up in the top of the email too, but Google's made it even easier for them to, there's another unsubscribe button that Google provides right in the email if you hover over the actual email in your inbox. But the bottom line is that you want to be providing something of value in those emails on a regular basis. Sure, you pitch the way that marketers did it when I first came into this industry was they would do a lot of product launches, which meant that they would launch a course. They would get a bunch of affiliate promotion, a bunch of friends or other affiliates to promote. It would be open for 7 days, and then they would close it down. And so it would be pitch, pitch, pitch. And then after they closed it down, lots of value, lots of emails, just free tips and free kind of to build that goodwill back up.
Oh, yeah.
So there's always a reason to email. And if there's not, actually, let me say this like this. You have to create the reason to email every day or regularly. You're the marketer. You have to create the urgency or the need. And how have you grasped that concept that as the marketer, you're the one who creates the desire or the urgency, and your income is capped simply by your creativity and ability to be able to do that?
I kind of had to figure out like how to fit that in because I feel like I wrote a bunch like at the beginning and then I kind of neglected that a little bit more. So I've made myself like a schedule where it's like I have to make sure I sit down and write 2 emails every week. Like at least I'm adding 2 because those start to add up over time, especially since I've been doing this for a year. So, and I just like think about things like, what have I been doing recently? How has this provided value in my life? If I need inspiration, there's always, chat GPT, like if I can type in what I'm trying to say and obviously make it more human-like because it's very robotic. What did I need when I started? Like what motivated me? What made me want to do this or change my life or get out of the situation I was in? So you always have to be thinking of like you always hear like your target audience, who you're talking to is you. Like, so what would you have told yourself? What would have changed your thoughts or just all of that?
Right. If it doesn't really matter what niche you're in, what would you say to you in that niche? in that scenario,
Yeah.
in that situation? What would you need? You know, you can imagine yourself, okay, I'm marketing as a 40-year-old man to new mothers, right? Who are trying to get their babies to go to sleep. Like say I'm in the swaddling slash first 6 weeks of baby life, and I'm mainly talking to mothers. Well, you know, I have been there, not as a mother, but I can imagine myself. What would I need in that situation? How would I want to be talked to? With lots of compassion. Hey, I get it, girl. Hey, I know what you're going through right now. I'm sure that you're exhausted reading this right now, right? And I can begin to put myself in that situation. Just as you said, I'm trying to give a drastic example that's outside of
Mhm.
where you really would have to put yourself in somebody's shoes and ask, what would you need? Now, as a marketer, if you're in the make money online niche, it's easy, right? You're just marketing to who you were a month ago or 2 months ago. Um, but yeah, what would you need? How would you want to be talked to? What would be some of the things that you would like to hear? You know, marketing is a lot easier than and sales is a lot easier than we make it out to be. One of the biggest, lessons and revelations that I had in sales was, I had watched some of these knuckleheads, in videos with these sort of, you know, sell me this pen, right? Like when I was trying to improve my sales skills. And it's like all of this like pitching and talking at people and almost intimidating people and closing them, hard closing. And what I actually like in the sales process is questions. I like the person to be interested in me.
Mhm.
I like the person to actually ask questions, be compassionate in that moment, because if I'm looking for something, I'm in need. And it's for me as a man, it can be vulnerable to feel needy. I need something. I like to not need anything, from anybody. So I like people to be compassionate and ask questions and use humor
Mhm.
and be, sometimes even soft spoken, or share parts of give me their opinions, their experience with the product. Not the typical hard close talk at you, try to intimidate you into buying something. Some of the questions that you're taught by some people in sales are just, they make people feel uncomfortable, and it doesn't work in 2024. People
Mm.
have seen it all, and that's icky and salesy and slimy to them. Um, and so really trying to say, what would I want in this scenario? What are some of the things that you have learned about connecting with people in your audience that you are surprising, or that you feel are secrets that you've discovered about connecting with people? And of course, you're like mostly doing this probably through video.
Yeah.
What are some of the types of characteristics, mannerisms, things that you say or have done in your videos that have really worked, that you would describe are the secret sauce behind them?
I ask a lot of questions too. Like, I mean, I think that really helps coming from my education background. Like, I know how to connect and go to like the pain points and the desires and how to get them talking too, like asking questions during my lives or asking them questions back in my voice messages, like letting them know I am there to help them be successful, right? Like, it's not just buy this because I said so. Like, it's just like, what do you want? Like, what is your budget? What do you need? Like, we can find a way you can do this. You don't have to spend ridiculous amounts of money to learn this, like,
Hmm.
so that's been a big thing of people see things online and they see all these different price points in this. And it's just like, okay, like, where are we at? Here are some options you can take, but it's ultimately going to come down to you and your mindset. Like, no one is going to teach you everything, right? Like, we're here to help you. Like, I feel like that's a big thing you see online is like, why won't anyone show me for free? And it's like, well, do you work for free? Like, do you work for free? Like, yes, I'm going to give you free value. Yes, I'm here to support you and help you, but you also have to help yourself. And obviously it's said in a very like, you know, kind manner and in a way of just like, here are the routes you can take to get there. Let's work together. What works best for you? What do you like? What don't you like about this? You know, I ask for feedback. I don't know. I've been talking about on my lives recently. I heard somebody else talking about on one of theirs, like a new person I connected with. And it's just like, I want you to imagine if you were asked as a kid, like, how do you see your life? How do you envision your life? Instead of always being asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I feel like that like really resonated with me more recently, because coming from a teacher, and I used to hear kids talk about like, I want to be a TikTok star. I want to be a and in your head, like when you have been conditioned in a way, you're like, well, you don't say it to them. You're never going to crush anyone's dreams. Right. But like, oh my gosh, they have to find like a real job. But why do we have to ask kids or other people that? Why can't it be like, how do you envision your life? How can we get there? What do you want your lifestyle to be? Because once you start saying like, what do you want to be when you grow up, they're automatically like, I have to have this kind of job to be successful. And that doesn't give you a lifestyle or what you want. So I guess just connecting in different ways of how can they think outside the box to get there.
Yeah, I love that. And answer that question for us. What is the lifestyle that you want to live and create for yourself? And how is that different than what you the original path that you were on coming out of school or high school, or what you believed before?
It's changed a lot. My husband will sit there and say like, I am so proud of you, because like the way you talk now is drastically different. Because before, my mindset was like, wow, I'm going to make like $3,000 a month for the rest of my life. I'm going to dread getting up, you know, to be controlled every single day. Like, teaching is an amazing profession. Everybody, it's just amazing. But like, there is just so much more to it that drains you and sucks the life out of you. And it takes away from the rest of your life. Like, it just absorbs you. So for me, it was like, I wanted my time. I didn't want to be tired all the time or upset about something that happened at work. I wanted to be able to go do things. And like, I wasn't able to do that. Like, we have built this life where we weren't really hurting for money. Like, yeah, my salary brought us down a little bit, but we had to say no because of me. It was always because of me. And it's just like, you know, my husband's working so hard. We have these real estate things, but we can't go do anything because I have to report to this job that truly isn't bringing that much in. And so when I started learning this, I just saw so much more opportunity out there, and like stretching my skills and putting myself in situations that like made me uncomfortable, because that's how you grow. Which I've always done. I've always been like, I know I have to do this. I know I'm going to feel better. It's like going to the gym, right? Like, I don't want to go work out, but you feel better afterwards, even though it was really uncomfortable to do. So I just wanted a lifestyle where I could do what I wanted, and I didn't have to always say no unless it was spring break or summer, and then you're, you know, paying crazy money to go do anything. And I just didn't want that anymore.
I want to zero in. Holly made an interesting comment. You're still teaching, but in different ways to a different audience. And I wonder how, for those of us who are not teachers like you were in a classroom and have those specific, you know, have that as a background, teaching is the key here. Value is teaching. When you're in this is something every person in sales should grasp and understand, is that ultimately what I want when I go into a scenario where I'm a potential buyer and I'm dealing with somebody in sales, if I can learn something, if they can teach me something, especially on the internet, right? Especially on the internet, because nowadays usually before you go into a store, you have done research on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how the world works these days. You don't just go into a store nowadays to be educated by the salesperson. You usually go into a store in 2024 as an educated buyer. And so we are going online looking for teachers, essentially.
Yeah.
First of all, would you agree with that? And second of all, what tips would you give those who are not teachers to develop that skill
Mm-hmm.
of teaching, which is so valuable in marketing?
Yeah. So kind of touching on what she said, I do like, I know like I could take my skills and teach in a different way, which was something that really appealed to me. It's on a lot of my like captions, you know, like even though teaching in the classroom wasn't for me, I was able to take it out into the online world. But telling other people that aren't teachers, like everyone has an educator inside of them, right? Whether you have kids, right? And you're teaching them as you grow up, like if you have a passion, you know how to teach it. Like everyone has skills that they can teach anybody in any niche. Like I couldn't go tell you how to change the oil in a car, but somebody's going to pay you how to learn how to do something that simple, or be willing to learn those skills. And just, I think the only hardest part is, like you said, like the salesy pitch, like don't be too salesy, like have compassion. Like these people want to change their lives, but you don't know what kind of financial situation they're in. So like talking and giving options of how we can get them there. Like if you're not willing to help, then you're still just not going to make money. And then the people that are like, well, I just want to learn for free. Like, I mean, maybe they have to take a harder road and be really, really driven, or it's not going to work for them. Their mindset's not there.
Yeah. I'm two-hatting it over here. I mean, you're right on. You're right on. And you know what? The people who want to learn for free and they say that, we need those people.
Mm-hmm.
We need those people. They're the people who are the follows. They're the people who are the likes. They're the people who are often the comments, right?
Yep.
They will show up and they will watch and listen and be part of your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody doesn't need to buy. Everybody's not gonna buy. And you as a marketer and a business owner out on the internet have to be willing, we all do, to deliver value even to those people. And I've been dealing with those sort of messages and people for 13 years in this business. You know, I say, well, these are the things that I deliver for free. I've done over 1,000 episodes of Wake Up Legendary, which is totally free and has more value in those episodes than what you're going to find out there for sale from 99.9999999, probably 100% of people.
Yeah.
So go and absorb those. Go and watch those. Here's the other things that I do for free. You can or low to no cost. You can take this challenge for $5, right? You can, get on the email list and receive value and inspirational messages. There's ways. And you begin to, if somebody ever says that, you have to frame and sell to them.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, let me say it like this. Let's just forget the word sell for a minute. You have to teach them.
Yep.
Teach them. They can't see with their own eyes. This is what sales and marketing is all about. I'm feeling myself right now. This is what sales and marketing is all about. It is about teaching people what they don't know about every aspect of your business, what you do, and what your topic is. You not only have to teach them the mechanics and the dynamics of what you're doing, right? The mechanical elements as well as the mindset that they need for anything, but you also have to teach them how to learn. And this is a great example. Somebody who's a freebie seeker, you have to teach them. In some ways, you're metaphorically going through the computer and opening their eyes to say, I see that you're struggling being resourceful right now. I see that I can tell that you're having limiting beliefs. I can tell that you have an attitude of entitlement. We don't say this, but we come to them compassionately, say, look, I understand the situation that you're in. This is why I do X, Y, and Z. I go live every Monday. For you, that's your thing. I go live every Monday. I provide more value in my lives than what you'll find in most paid courses. So make sure that you attend those. I take questions. You can learn. You can also access my past lives and watch those replays. You can get my free guide. You can get on my email list and receive tips, tricks, recommendations through my email list. No matter where you're at, I'm here to help you and serve you. Thanks for the question. And I'll see you on my next live, right? We are in the business of teaching people also how to consume our content. We're teaching people how to move through. You got to even teach people where to click in your emails. You have to be clear about and teach them, click the link and go watch the video until the end. Otherwise, there would be a hyperlink right there for them to click. And if you just assume that they know to click it and go watch it, you're fooling yourself. People need, that's why we call it a call to action. Clear and powerful calls to action. Is this resonating with you? And are you also, your experience here of realizing how clear you have to be with people and how much you have to tell them has got to have been part of your journey here?
Yeah. And I've even shown that stuff on my lives. Like I've been like, here,
right,
you can access it. You can comment here and, my Steph bot, right? Like, well, respond. And if you need anything, like I do personally respond. But yeah, like you're saying, like, I always reiterate all the free resources that I do have, like, all the guides and PDFs I have, my free Facebook group, my lives. And it's just like, you can join these things. You can start learning. But yeah, it's just, and then I always like, remember, like, it's easier for me. Cause again, back to like my teaching background, like you get so many snarky emails and you have to just respond to them with like, it's a little bit more fluffy, right? So I've just learned how to like kill people with kindness and respond of more of like educating them. And if you'd like to know anything else, please reach out. But like, you catch more people that way and they're like, oh, well, I didn't realize that, even though they came a little snarky at you with some kind of comment, and then you just little education or a little, I don't know.
Yeah. And that's a great just point to hit on real quick. When people came, a great lesson of leadership is to not match energy.
Oh yeah.
It's to not match energy. One of the things, this is a catchy phrase on the internet, and it's a catchy phrase in like the love and relationship topic or niche. Really, just when people are living their lives, they're like, I'm looking for somebody to match my energy. Well, that may be true in love or in your relationship, but it's not true in business, because people are going to come at you snarky, as you say, rude, entitled, right? Like real a-holes out there.
Yep.
People are they got all kinds of things going on. And when I realized that the most leadership-like and professional thing I could do in any situation is to not match energy. My job is to not match energy. My job is to reset the tone. My job is to have control over my emotions at all times and never let anybody get me rattled or upset. And this has paid off for me dividends in so many different ways, because the more successful that you get, the bigger the bullseye on your back is going to be for people to do all kinds of things. And you have to learn to sleep good at night, no matter what's going on, no matter what people are saying, no matter what messages they're sending, because you could read an entitled, snarky message and it could throw your whole day off, right? And you could just blow your whole energy on this one situation or scenario of just literally. And how vulnerable are you? How are you giving away all of your power to just anybody who comes along and wants to snatch it from you by sending you an entitled or snarky message? You have to learn how to, and what I've done is exactly what you said. respond with compassion. Try to have compassion for that person. Try to find that compassion. And it may not be empathy, right? You may not be able to relate to it. Empathy is where you can put yourself in that person's shoes. Now, maybe you can. You try to put, but if you can't, you have compassion, not sympathy, right? We're not here to feel sorry for people, because especially if you are a teacher, you have to learn to empower people. But I need to find compassion for people. Man, they must be tired, overwhelmed. Look, I'm here. I'm grounded. I'm going to be a voice of reason in this moment. I am going to be professional in this moment. I learned that the definition of being professional was very simply just learning to manage my emotions and not react negatively or make an ass out of myself or let people be a puppet master with my emotions. What
Sure.
what comes up for you around this conversation? And did you give your power away earlier in the game and learn to reel that back?
Not really, because I had so much practice, because
As
I
a
would like,
teacher?
when I was teaching, I
Yeah.
learned like I'm not checking my emails over the weekend, because it would, like, I would receive an email and it would ruin my entire weekend.
Yeah.
And I would wait to
Totally.
respond, and obviously the professionalism there is you have someone looking over there. So if you're not like professional, then you're in trouble, right? Like, but then I carried that over into my business, and it's like, if you're not professional in how you respond, like, I don't know these people. Like, it's a little bit easier than like I knew those people emailing me, but I don't know these people, so why am I going to let them bother me? Let me take a second. If it did make me upset, how can I respond to this? Because if you do respond rude or snarky back, you've already lost them completely, right? You're starting this argument online that doesn't need to happen. You may change their mind. I've changed several people's minds of like, oh, well, that makes sense. And if other people see that you're being rude back, you're going to lose also other people. So it just kind of all plays together. Even though you're not going to get in trouble by a boss, like, you're hurting your own business. So
Yeah.
you just have to learn how to, like, and if you can't, then delete them. Like, I mean, I wouldn't delete the comments because it can hurt like your reach and stuff. But I don't know, the negative comments help too. Like, but either ignore them, delete them, block them, or respond in a way that maybe you'll change their mind, or maybe you'll change someone else's mind who sees that.
That's huge. And what I realized is that the person who you are responding to may not be somebody who you can convert into a buyer, but a potential buyer on the fence is always watching on the internet, always watching to how you handle something. And you can make or break a sale, and you can make or break, dozens of people's opinion about you by the way that you respond to one comment. And this is a game changer, right? For those of you who are easily swayed by, and affected by people's comments, instead of getting offended and instead of, thinking that you need to punch back, realize that punching back is only going to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's only going to make, and this is also a persuasion and influence, hack, is that the more you fight somebody, the more they
Push back.
dig their heels in the ground and push back. You need to go from opposite sides of the table to figure out how to go, metaphorically speaking, walk around the table and be sitting on the same side of that person and say, I'm on your team here. I get it. I hear you. And I want you to find a solution. And I'm sorry you had that experience, but here's my recommendation. And I wish you the best of luck. And thank you so much for letting me know this. Just responding with that level of professionalism is going to win you sales. It's going to win you followers. It's going to allow you to stand out from all of your competitors who are out there snarking right back.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. And another thing I wanted to hit on is, like, even though you may not be the one responding the way like you are in your head, people who love and get to know you are. I've seen that a lot too. Like people that, you know, they fight back for you too in ways that you're like, I'm not going to with my business. But yes, I see that.
Well,
Yeah.
that's how you know you have delivered value,
Yes.
and how you have, people in the marketplace who are standing up for you. And
Mhm.
and yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's a beautiful thing. A lot of times you don't have to defend yourself. Deliver value and teach people and help people until other people will do the fighting for you in the
Mhm.
comments,
Yeah.
right? Because you're right, they will. And it's a great sign of your progress, your growth, the amount of value you've delivered when other people will stick up and stand up for you to somebody who's
Yeah.
just throwing a random internet, just grenade at you,
Mhm.
which is most of the time obvious that they've not even looked into what you're doing, or have taken some, for us, I mean, we've had people, from news companies to just somebody who's written a random blog post or done an article, who it's so obvious that they didn't even vet what they're talking about. They
Yeah.
didn't even go through it, right? They didn't even, and in some cases we can even track back to that person's account and see that they're not even in our system. They did a review of our company, but they've not even gone through our course. Or in one case that was wildly disturbing, earlier this year, somebody was propped up as an expert, and they reviewed our company, and we saw that they had bought our challenge but never even started it.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, you have to know who you are in this game, and you have to know that people are allowed to say whatever they want, but you know the truth, and you ultimately hold the power, and the power is in your response to those things, because people are going to talk. We're talking. That's what human beings do. Get used to it. Learn how to develop thick skin for people talking. They're allowed to talk. And actually, you want them talking. The goal is to get people talking about you, good, bad, indifferent, right? You want people to feel something when they watch your content or have an opinion about you. Uh, uh, the I can't remember if it was Barnum or Bailey, but I think it was P.T. Barnum said early in his career, he was getting negative press and things of that nature. He said, people and news companies can say whatever they want, just don't spell my name wrong. And it's true. It's true. It's like, if they're commenting, it's a blessing. If they're
Yep.
talking, it's a blessing. There's a blessing somewhere in there. You've done something right to get people commenting, to get people's emotions and feelings going, and you're in control of that based on your response. We're in so much more control of our business than what we take ownership for, and that's the real foundation of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I think you have to remind people too. It's like, what do you believe in? Like everyone will say, like, oh, I heard this, this, and this. It's like, well, what positive things did you read? You know, there is always two sides to every story. There is always positive and negativity out there online. It's just like, what do you believe? What do you align with? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to stand? Like you you're choosing to read only the negativity. You're choosing to read what's going to scare you away. You're choosing to read what's going to keep you from progressing. But if you just like take a belief and look at the positive results, then what could it be, right? Like what that goes back to what we talked about earlier. What lifestyle do you want? What do you want?
mm,
Okay, if you want to go clock in 9 to 5 every single day for the rest of your life and miss out on whatever it is, okay, that's your choice. But or whatever it is, if you just want extra money, or if you just want an extra day off, like there's just you can do anything with this.
yeah. Yeah, we're often able to find what we're looking for. And
Yeah.
for those of you who are listening to this, you can find what you're looking for. Whatever you're looking for, you can find it. You're going to find it.
Mhm.
And that's true in anything, including this game. If you're looking for problems, you can find them. If you're looking for solutions, you will find them. It's all about what you're looking for. It's crazy. Go on the street and, start looking for red cars. Man, you're going to be blown away. Or green cars. How many green cars are out there that you never noticed, right? Or yellow cars. Whatever you're looking for, you will find it. It's same thing in relationships. I mean, this is the dynamics that we talk about, the mindset that we talk about that you need as an entrepreneur. Also in sales and marketing. I mean, one of the things that I do in sales, this is one of the most common things that people start to say is in sales is, well, the people don't have the money, right? We start to, it's almost like we're looking for it, right? People don't have the money, or people start making judgments about people. Well, that's all you'll see.
Yep.
But if you start to see the people and notice the people and focus on the people who do have money, who do want to take action, who are ready to get started, it's almost like you will speak that into existence. And not only notice those people and get pumped up about those people and stop noticing the people who don't so much, but you will begin to also, because you are looking for those people and assuming that the people have money and are ready to get started, more people will just simply have money and be ready to get started, because there's a certain energy in the universe. I can't explain it, to where you can literally attract and transform the result that you want out of situations and out of people. Just simply by speaking it and thinking it into existence. I mean, it's sort of like having such a good day to where you're like, this day is going so good. I mean, how often do you say that to yourself, right? And why do you say that? Because you say that on a day where you're just winning and everything's going smooth. And when you say that, things usually continue to go smooth, versus when you're like, what a shit day. This day is really, started off on a bad foot. I wonder what else is going to go wrong. And then you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's like positive expectation is a thing. And we can have that from our audience. It's part of the whole playbook of having compassion for people when they're snarky or negative. It's about when you're talking to people and you're on lives and they're commenting, making, you can tell when somebody's got a negative mindset or they're broken minded, but not getting caught up in that, not even acknowledging that, only acknowledging positivity, only speaking the result and what you want people on your life to do in your life, versus getting sidetracked down some negative path. People will rise to that level of the level that you're playing on and the things that you're talking about, versus them pulling you down and it's distracting you and getting you into negative mindset. We are in so much more control than what we give ourselves credit for.
Yeah, 100%. You can change how you think, how your day's going to go, just by looking at it differently. I don't know. I'd rather think positively and what it could be and what it can be than think I was always going to be stuck. I mean, that's kind of how I was at the very beginning when I was teaching. Like, I chose this career when I was 18 years old, went to college for it. And I was like, whoa, man, I have to do this for the next 40 years. And you can always make a change. It's just what people are scared of. It could be anything. I could have made a completely different career change, but this is just what I found and what lit my fire. Like, when a light bulb went off of, I can make a change. I'm only 30, when I found this, I was only 31 years old. Like, there's just so much life that you can change.
What have you learned? And I may have asked you this before, but I wonder how you would answer it now. What have you learned about yourself along this journey? And even since the last time you were on the show?
I just learned, like, I can take my skills and apply them in any way and find the life that I do desire. And I've just changed my mindset so much of how I can make money. Like, I feel like a big thing when I would be when I was teaching, I was out in the summer, I'm like, how are these people out living life? How are they out here? I'm stuck in a room all day when I'm teaching, but just changing that mindset of you can literally get anything you want. You can learn the skills. Like, you don't have to know everything in what you go into, but you do have to have some kind of passion. And my passion was for teaching others. It just unfortunately wasn't the way and under somebody else that was for me. And so then I could find out how to do that. I can find how to be more independent. I have a very bold and loud personality. I mean, it depends who you ask. I'm also an observer. So I can observe when I'm in a situation, but if I'm comfortable and I know what I'm talking about, then I'm very outspoken. You know, I'm not afraid to share my opinions or say what I think. That gets a lot of looks in the teaching world. It thrives in this world. But you have to be a little bit more quiet there, where now I'm able to use that and I'm not looked at like, whoa, you're speaking your opinion. Like, yes, I'm speaking my opinion. Like, so I'm just able to like bring out my skills a lot more in this. And I've just been like so much more involved in conversations. Like I've said, like before, like a lot of our friends are entrepreneurs. As we've grown, our friend groups have changed. You know, people own their own businesses. They have more freedom. And I wanted to be that person. I wanted to learn how to be that person. I just wanted to stop being the no person, the no friend, the no wife, you know, and I accomplished that. I have a really big drive. I have a really big work ethic, and it was able to really show through this versus just being told how to use it.
Yeah. Well, congrats to you. And I know that your husband and your family is proud of you. And I mean, I know I certainly am. And you are a total rock star, and you absolutely are beginning to scratch the surface of your potential, which is awesome. You know, I love to see that. You know, I was on the same path that you are right now. You know, it's my time to be a grandpa here for a moment. When I was your age back in the day, you know, I was also discovering, you know, the powers of entrepreneurship and the fact that the sky was the limit. And I found out and discovered that you can do that at any age, friends. That it doesn't matter whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, all the way up to, you know, however. I have been and seen people of all ages coming in and learning new skills and having financial and personal breakthroughs. And the only limit is your limiting beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only limit. You put the limit on what's possible.
Yeah.
The only limit. It's not even the sky, man. The only limit is your limiting beliefs. The world is so much bigger than we realize it is. And there is so much more time than we realize that we have. And I'm talking about even if you've only got a year left in life or a couple of months, right? I mean, none of us really know when it's going to be our time to go. In 24 hours, we've all got the same amount of 24 hours, right? And it's just how we use them. And for me, I've been amazed and inspired by not only the financial breakthroughs people have had in this journey and in this business and in growing their skills, but also in the personal breakthroughs that they've had in their confidence. And I can see it with you. I can see it with your confidence, Stephanie, in the way that you have stepped into your power, and you now are and you just said it. You just talked about it as you've, you know, stepped more into this and realized what you were capable of, and that you could do anything, that you are a hard worker. You've got this incredible work ethic. We start to, and would you agree? I mean, I don't want to just assume, in your own words, how has your self-esteem grown through this process?
Oh, a lot. I felt extremely silenced, I feel like, all other times. And like, I don't feel like that anymore. So it makes me feel like I found a spot where like my personality, who I am, it just flourishes more. Like, I don't know. I just felt so silenced being an educator in the system versus being an educator out here. And it just feels good to be like accepted. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but like it's accepted.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel like that where I was.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your time once again today. Third time back on the show. Let's make it a fourth in the near future. Always looking forward to catching up with you, learning from you, getting inspired by you. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you really soon, okay?
Bye.
All right. See you, Stephanie. All right, my friends, you can find Steph over on Instagram, Teacher to Marketer. No spaces, no underscores, Teacher to Marketer over on Instagram. My friends, thanks for all the amazing comments and support and love for Stephanie. She is a total rock star. Thank you all for being on and listening and being with us here this morning. Lori, awesome comments. Thank you so much for the love all throughout the show. Yes, Mitra, agree. I loved it too. You're so welcome, Mitra. Yes, Diaz, the only limit is your limiting beliefs. Yes, totally. Thank you, Amanda, for the comments and being here as well. Carolyn, love you back. You're so welcome. All of you, thank you so much for just being the most supportive and incredible and awesome and interactive audience here in community and friends. Just appreciate you all so much, and let's have a fantastic week. This has been a great start to our week. Stephanie's show this morning and all of the shows that she's been a guest on have been total inspirations and total examples of what is possible, and making that, just kind of taking your career in your own hands and doing what you want to do, even if you have a degree or even if you have started another career path. It's not to say that you should quit your job and just jump into this with no income. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, but there's so many examples. Stephanie is such a powerful one of just going after what you want to do. And isn't that what you should do in your life, right? I mean, it's about doing what you want to do and doing what you deserve to do and accomplishing the things that will add to both your financial freedom and your self-esteem, as she touched on at the end of the show. So many nuggets. You can re-listen to the show and catch all the show replays on the major podcast platforms. Just type in Wake Up Legendary. You can also go right here back to this Facebook page and listen to all of the replays right here anytime that you want, right here on the Legendary Marketer Facebook page. My friends, I'm going to go ahead and put in this link. Hold on, let me put it into the comments so you can subscribe to our messenger notification list in the morning. We will give you a little message in Facebook Messenger where you can jump on and click a link and come right over here to the live every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I just posted that link in the comments. With that being said, my friends, bam, what a fantastic episode. Awesome morning. Everybody get out of here. Thanks again, Steph, for an amazing show. Once again, see you on number 4 real soon. And all of you, get out of here. Have a great day. Love you all. Thanks. Peace.